All right. My name is Justin Jenkins, and today I'm going to be giving you a speech on the rise and fall of Walter White from Breaking Bad. All right. So first, I want to ask you a question. What would you do if you had to go to the doctor for a checkup and you were told you only had 2 years left to live and you have nothing left to give to your family? And that's going to start the story of Walter White. You see, Walter White first started out as a chemistry teacher in high school, and now he was very overqualified for this job. He helped start a lab company which was worth millions, close to billions of dollars. And now he was one of the key founders. However, he was pushed out due to one of the other founders having a love interest that was the same as Walter White, which really drove, kind of a beef between them. They really fought over her, and he got pushed out of this, which left him to search for a job to do for his family. And that's how he ended up as a high school chemistry teacher, which again, he was very overqualified for. Now, after work and everything was going good, he made just enough money to provide for his family as a chemistry teacher. However, disaster would soon strike. Walter White would go to the doctor, and he would be told after a checkup that he only had a few years left to live due to lung cancer. Now, this was a surprise for him and his family, and he really did not know how to react. And now, some people would take more cautious, they'd think about it more than he did. However, he took a very drastic route, you would say. Now, instead of taking out a life insurance policy or taking donations in, Walter White would choose a different path to take. And now, this path would follow one of his previous students in high school in chemistry who actually failed. But Walter White, even though he knew the student failed chemistry, he would reach out to this student and propose a partnership between the two to start a crystal rock candy cooking team. And this guy's name is Jesse Pinkerton, and he was one of his students. And now this is a shady fellow, and this will be the start of Walter White going down a dark path to provide for his family, because he feels only one thing matters, and that's his family being able to prosper and survive after he's gone. And so again, they work together, and using Walter White's previous background, again, he wasn't just a normal chemistry teacher. He was very overqualified, and he did have all the previous experience starting a lab company. And now these two actually made a great team, and they would start what they didn't know would soon be a crystal rock candy cooking empire. Again, it was rock candy. Do not get it disassociated with anything else. And now their product was considered some of the best. It was very pure. This product was. No one else could replicate it, because most of the other, scientists on the street were making very inferior products, as they did not have the experience that Walter White had. And now, after working a while and making some money, Walter White soon realized he couldn't just be a small-time dealer. And being in this dark business, there is a lot of crime involved. And this will lead Walter White to make some bad choices and go down a dark path. But in his mind, he tells himself that it's all okay and he's in the right, because he is doing this to provide for his family. And this will soon get him labeled as the Heisenberg, which was one of his favorite scientists. Now, continuing down this dark path as we talked, he would soon end up finding a job working for Gus Fring, who led a fried chicken company chain which secretly funded a crystal rock candy empire. And now, with this connection to someone who really knew the business, because again, Walter White excelled in the cooking of the crystal rock candy, but he didn't have any idea. He didn't have the brains on the street. He didn't understand, how to be able to sell that much rock candy. And this is where Gus Fring comes in with an already established empire of dealing out the secret coveted blue rock candy. And then this is where the problem starts. Okay, the police get involved. They're starting to crack down. They're looking on the street and they're saying, hey, everybody's got this crystal rock candy and we've got to put an end to it. And so he takes a turn and he runs into the police on a few occasions. However, he does escape them because, again, he is a mastermind. But this is when the next character comes in. Hank Schrader, which again is Walter White's brother-in-law who works for the DEA. And you might be wondering why the DEA, which is the Drug Enforcement Agency, is involved. But keep in mind, it is just rock candy, and it's just because people have such a craze for this rock candy, that he has to get involved. However, he does not know, Hank Schrader, he does not know that his brother-in-law is the Heisenberg and the mastermind behind the said rock candy empire. And this is going to eventually lead to the downfall of Walter White. He is going to eventually fall in love with the money, and it's going to strain his family because, again, he's having to live two lives. His family does not know about this second life. And eventually the two lives clash, and his family finds out about what's going on, and Hank Schrader eventually catches him. And, he outs him because he finds out it's his brother-in-law, so he tells his family. And that leads to Hank dying and him splitting up from his wife and his kids. And this is basically the end of the story. He's lost. So basically, by the end, he did everything he could for his family. He made some dark choices to provide for his family, but it ended up leading him down a path that he was just best not going down. But so that really takes you to this idea, and I feel like Walter White's story is a powerful reminder, because sometimes the biggest threat to our dreams, his dream was to, he knew he had 2 years left, but he wanted to be able to provide for his family for life. And he had this ambition and this dream to do that, which eventually would lead to his downfall. So that takes you to the question, is sometimes the biggest threat to our dreams ourselves? But all right, I want to thank you for listening to my presentation on the rise and fall of Walter White from Breaking Bad.